Oh, hi. So, I am here because on Wednesday, CaribAthon begins. CaribAthon, or as we call it around here, CaribAthon. So, CaribAthon starts on Wednesday, June 7th, and it goes to Saturday, June 17th. So, that's 11 days of reading books by Caribbean authors, books by people who were born in the Caribbean or are of Caribbean heritage and are featuring the Caribbean. So, I have some books here that I intend to read during those 11 days. And I want to hear from you in the comments down below what books you're planning to read. Don't tell me if you're participating because I want everybody to participate. I want everyone to read at least one book or one short story collection, one poetry collection, one nonfiction about Caribbean history. Read something about Caribbean life and then tell me about it. Tell everyone about it. Promote these Caribbean authors if you can. In June, we are celebrating. In America, I think we're celebrating immigrant heritage. So not just Caribbean, but people from everywhere coming to the United States. So that's fantastic. But in this little space, we are highlighting Caribbean heritage. So CaribAthon hosted by me and by Peta from Comfy Cozy Up. And we're going to use this time to just like go hard for Caribbean books. So everything that I read during that time is going to be Caribbean. I'm only reading Caribbean literature during that time, Caribbean books during that time. So I have 5 books here that I think I'll be able to read, and it would be great if I read those 5 and then some others because I have more than just 5 books that I want to read. So we're going to start with these 5. And the title of this video is not just books that I want to read, books that I'm going to encourage you to read as well. Because even though I haven't yet read them, I know they're going to be fantastic. Because all of these books are going to say something about Caribbean history, Caribbean culture, Caribbean life, which starts in the Caribbean but extends everywhere. So these are books that have like very diverse kind of reach, and I'm so excited to read all of these. So we're gonna start with this one, The God of Good Looks by Brian McIver, because this is the group read for CaribAthon. So I'm inviting everyone to read this book with me during the 11 days of CaribAthon. I have already read it. I read this when it was in galley form. Got a galley download from the publishers. HarperCollins sent me a galley copy and I loved it. I really enjoyed reading this book because it is set in Trinidad and it's about a young woman that I think we can all identify with parts of her life, even if her life story isn't necessarily ours. So it's about a young woman who got herself involved in a relationship that she shouldn't have and experiencing backlash because of that decision. And so it's a little bit about that relationships with men who are more powerful or seem to be more powerful, but about learning to claim your own power, your own strength, even when other people try to intimidate you. So I really enjoyed reading this before, and so now really excited to read it again as it has been released to the public, just to see like how much different the finished copy is, but also looking forward to sharing this experience of reading The God of Good Looks with you guys. So this is the book, this is the group read. I'm going to be reading it and I hope you'll read it too, and I hope we'll all enjoy it and we'll be able to chat about it together. So aside from that, other books that I am intending to read. The other contender for me when we were discussing what our group read would be for CaribAthon, my other pick was The Gospel According to the New World by Maryse Condé, who is a Guadeloupean author. She writes in French, and so her writings are translated. Recently, her writings have been being translated by Richard Philcox, and I have read and really enjoyed several of her books. And while I love her writing, I wasn't sure that this would be a book that everyone would want to read in June, especially during a shorter time period. So if you're reading it, if we're putting forward a book for CaribAthon as a group read, then I guess we're saying that we hope that everyone will be able to read the book during the 11 days of CaribAthon and be able to discuss it. So this book, I haven't read it yet, so I don't know. But this may be a book that requires a little bit more time. I don't know. So I'm going to challenge myself to read it during CaribAthon. And so I'll be available to discuss it with you if you also get to it in CaribAthon. But anytime you want to talk to me about books, I'm available. So The Gospel According to the New World by Maurice Conde is on my TBR for CaribAthon. Would love to know if you're reading it during CaribAthon as well. And let's chat about that. Maurice Conde is a very immersive writer. Like when you read her books, you really get into the life that she is portraying. I feel like you really get a broad grasp of Caribbean culture, and she discusses the breadth of Caribbean experiences. In a lot of ways, she talks about the immigrant life, so the people who grew up in the Caribbean and then went somewhere else, and the comparison of life, whether their new country is also another Caribbean country, what the new life or the new lifestyle looks like. I've seen that theme in a few of her books. I don't know what this one is going to be because I'm not reading book synopses, guys. I want to be surprised. I want to experience books organically, so I try not to read book synopses if I don't have to. So I'm going to be reading this during CaribAthon is what I'm saying. I would love to chat with you if you're reading it too. Other books that I am hoping to pick up during CaribAthon include this one, Kemosha of the Caribbean by Alex Wheatle. Alex Wheatle grew up in England, but his parents, I think both of his parents are Jamaican. And I have a few books that the publishers sent me. Akashic Books has been publishing his work, and the publisher sent me a few of his books. This is the one that I think I'm going to be reading during CaribAthon, but I have others that I'm going to show you later. So, Kemosha of the Caribbean is set in the 1600s Jamaica. So we're reading a little bit about the life around piracy and buccaneering. So Port Royal, Jamaica is going to feature in this book, and I'm really looking forward to reading a book, especially a young adult novel that is going to be building on that kind of storyline and that time. So I'm going to be recreating this book cover in a YouTube short or an Instagram somewhere. So look for my shorts recreating book covers coming soon. I'm very excited to do this, but I'm also really excited to read the book. I'm looking forward to getting into Alex Wheatle's writing as well. So very excited that Akashic Publishers sent me that book. So I'm going to be checking out Alex Wheatle's writings. Akashic Books also sent me Now Lila Knows by Elizabeth Nunez. And when I got this book, I didn't realize that the author had Caribbean heritage. I'm not sure if she is from Trinidad and Tobago herself or her family, but I think she has some Trinidad and Tobago roots. But she lives in the United States. I'm not positive about her. It says she's a foreign-born woman. So does that mean that she was born in Trinidad? I think so, but I can't remember. So I'm going to be reading this book and learning a little bit more about Elizabeth Nunez along the way. So what Now Lila Knows looks like a thriller. Like this cover looks like a thriller. There's a police car, headlights right there in the dark background. Makes me think that this is maybe a thriller, and then also looks like maybe it's autofiction because the author is a professor. She's a professor at Hunter College, CUNY, and the book is about a woman who is a professor, a visiting professor, visiting from the Caribbean to a college in the United States. So did I tell you I don't want to read book synopses? I don't want to read book synopses. I knew that, and I don't want to see any more. So let's leave that to be surprised during CaribAthon. And then finally this book, which, man, I have picked up this book several times and just never read it. So Frying Plantain by Zalika Reed Bento is on my TBR for CaribAthon this year, and I'm looking forward to reading it. These are short stories that I think deal with a little bit of the immigrant life, because I think Zalika Reed Bento herself is a Jamaican who lives in Canada, and I think this book talks a little bit about that bicultural experience. So maybe you've read some of these and want to tell me about your experiences reading them. A couple of these came from the library, and I'm really excited about that because I don't know how library systems work, but I feel like when we request books from the library, when we use the library system, The authors also get credit, even if we don't buy books. Like, I'm gonna be buying some of these books myself, but right now I can't buy books right now. I'm still on a book buying ban. So I'm very, very pleased that I've been able to get some of these books from the library. So don't come for me that I'm not supporting Caribbean authors. I am. I'm promoting their books. And when I can, I will buy copies. When I can, I'll buy copies. So for now, let's just, focus on the fact that we have these books available to us, 5 Caribbean books that I'm looking forward to reading during CaribAthon. And I would love to hear from you. What's on your TBR for CaribAthon and what books you're going to be reading and promoting and sharing. We are going to be doing some fun things during CaribAthon, and I haven't shared all of those details with you yet, but just know, details coming soon, exciting things happening soon. And even if we didn't do anything else, even if all we did during CaribAthon was read really great Caribbean books and talk about them, then that would be enough. That would be enough. But we're going to do more. We're going to do more. We're going to be talking about Caribbean books. So let me know in the comments down below what your TBR is looking like. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it, and until we come back for another video, until we come back to continue with our CaribAthon preparation and celebration, happy reading. Bye.